past, Taillon slotted in more as like the 3.
0-1. 0-2. Miss at a 3-pitch strikeout. And the 1-0 from Taillon.
That's Taillon is not as successful against right-handed hitters as he was.
0-1. And just for Taillon, his overall
four-seam in that new changeup.
2-1. His one outing with Canada.
And if you're looking for the pop, necessarily mean all of a sudden he's going to regress in the right. Maybe it's trying to find cutter field to righties away.
RBI single for Santiago S. League King.
Cactus League King.
1-0 to him.
But behind account cutters middle.
Taillon. Your deadline last year.
Very flat approach to the zone. A changeup in the mix too. He throws a lot to lefties. Secret weapon of the Dodgers. That ball's way. That slider, really tough pitch.
And a .98 whip.
That's him. That ball's middle.
Yesterday, so back-to-back days.
Such that you're not overexposing.
1-1 to Ian. Average 86. Ian Happ. There's a
30-20. Like that'd be a heck of a scene.
1-2. Wait. I cannot wait.
High floor bat. Missed the pitch type there. He's nodding.
The throw by Sean. It's first and third. In Cactus League play. But it's 5-0 LA. It's ball he can use the kick change to do.
Say not a lot of guys like command.
Hello. I could have used that for the not with the blue towel.
No.
Carson Kelly
just holds the line with the four seam so long. Plus all the time. Tipped back to the mask. He doesn't even know it's tipped.
With being.
I think of a lot of these kind of more.
In the past, that's actually what we were talking about, the ball. So really the hinging at the ball, because you hear younger players, they're lacking an element of their game that can speed him up, which I feel like is why he.
Good person to talk to.
Absolutely. I mean, and so you have a lot of element. A guy a day off. He's out there. Prospect in this org. One that I think slightly
first dive, and it's caught by Michael.
Of his career by a pretty decent margin, actually.
Mookie
damage there is far higher than if you're using a to change up. Cubs baseball from 18.
1-0 from J-Mo. 18 for 30 this spring.
So you go back to earlier in his career, allows him to get ball on ground a little bit easier than whacking back. You can kind of tell he's like, I know risky pitch at work, but it was risky.
2-1. What curve? Throw to third, and it's a 2-run fly.
Often more important than raw arm strength.
Ian Happ makes the catch. It's the
good series off the top.
Steven Vocation. Payoff.
Exactly what they were talking about, but you would imagine all these positions. And Ryan Flaherty said,
fighting for a 26-man. 2-run shot.
Power as we've seen in the last couple of years.
Makes the catch.
Odd. Like there were scouts I talked to, and it's the element I think of scouting that's really difficult to about the offense being down last.
Second, short. Wins the battle with the sun and work for Jamison Taillon. Leadoff single here in the fourth will bring up
both sides of the ball defensively. You have
Stay night. Runners off.
Scorching hot. You've got the other name I was trying to think of. The energy they play with is just amazing to watch. Seem like they're starting to be sky high this year.
Venezuela. Cubs have made. That's one of the better ones.
Push the zone right with like
Raz in.
See it just when he throws like really over the top, big. So you have about 8 or so inches.
Payoff.
Ball from a coaching standpoint. Western one now.
Stretch and the third out here in the fourth. Good Fordo.
Better a lot of change. So that even if you see them a third time in a game,
Swing it. Fouls that.
hitters more and more per hour from 24 to 25.
Meehan delivers. Payoff. Here's Miguel Amaya.
Team lead in terms of attempts as well, and I think that
Game 10 in muscle.
Elise Menaker right before the pitching.
Didn't ask about either, but you do make a great.
And that's right field. And it's caught 73 appearances.
Ball further over towards first, away from the center of the rubber. The big breaking ball. Like, that's a great look.
Nice play. Dansby's had a nice play. 1-0 by Milner.
Ball for 99% of ball
How
flight.
they configured their left-handed pitcher.
Looking at right there in terms of how he uses these guys. Complementary lefties here. Where if
Download. First 15 homers. The
I
same.
know how much I want homers from him, like the guy that I think could push to 6-7 WAR. You could really see Horner having a,
And I think he was number 11.
it just has more natural bat speed, so pitchers.
The two-word term. Kelly.
Yeah. Ooh. Righty, you just don't see a lot of changeups.
First just gets Dansby. Dansby will have guests. We will have curse of that.
Absolutely. You know, we've had the evergreen system. We're not just purely recapping things.
And to be able to talk to a lot of people who have Beal Bar gets the first out. And
Spot we have coming out on the 23rd is going to, like, in my head, apply some of the things that I've heard. Dominate the Nationals. You could pop that on. And listen.
you get to hear more.
For 6 years, I think. I think that's good.
Ian makes the catch. And Caleb, the World Baseball Classic, baby. You've heard
Deep in the playoffs. Is that like the
Clyde. And I mean, that's he is. And he's got compensated like one. Conforto takes it up.
The sports director at TMJC, something that they will remember for the rest of.
Ooh. Most
There,
definitely
that's what I'm
did.
remembering. Yep.
7th inning, we walk to,
And I think I woke up and
talking about Craig Counts being able to talk with them during is one of the best.
if you have the means to contribute.
Pedro
Pay prospect lists for the Cubs.
stop throw to first, and it ends the ball.
And just excited to be a part of it. It's an interesting feeling. It's something that I have guys. I've played against a lot of them, and show that I can help this team win core. I've always at my best
And did you find when you had to
play. So, in my junior season when I was,
appreciate the time today?
yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Another expected big memo.
A little bit innate feel for that pitch. And
Alec Mills.
oh yeah, I do.
Probably difficult because you go to teams.
As possible, especially if some of the. I don't think anybody coming into that year thought he was in the rotation, and it was just
Two pitchers who really surprised me on.
Is the team that he's starting for this year, then an all-star last year, now this year?
No.
Excuse.
That's taken up.
It's a game just like the rest. I understand how much it means to Chicago fans.
And what I also liked is Matthew, a glimpse of
their baseline win total is so high.
Cubs get a run here in the 7th. He was selected in the 2014 ace level stuff. Rooting for his teammates are rooting for, and if just
October. On a guy like Justin Steele, everyone's healthy and the rotation's healthy. You don't need to rush. Like the Brewers, despite
bobble throw to first.
Oh, no one wins or loses technically.
He's done a great job. He's worked with him out there and watch him go out there, and the score's not going to get above 2 or 3 of us going out there base running every day on the schedule.
It really pays off now.
I just think base running is the togetherness, the selflessness. Hold ourselves to that. We know we did a lot of things.
Your hat. You have some.
Remaining. This pitch by
Maine, taking a pitcher's maybe.
2-out base runner for the.
No, these guys aren't going to be exactly that in the regular. Down below 95 miles per hour as you jump, say, from 90 to 91.
It is.
I like it.
And I have a lot.
Just kind of never made it.
Texas leaguer last year too. Meaningful baseball game.
Of course, you could say, "Oh my God, look at those 10 Hall of Famers on the."
And I think it was Dominican Republic like this at age 23.
He had a bunch of balls below, try to measure through WAR, offensive stand, try to hone in on that for the 2026 season. Out of the zone, pitchers weren't going to give him stuff.
2-2 Ayers.
All the dirt off the bottom, ring.
There at least.
As numbers are in the shoes, or they drop them off.
to make sure to go. Can you?
They're going into the clubhouse after they've spikes a day. One of the grounds crews, we don't complain because it's sunshine and.
Jonathan Long. Payoff pitch.
That is, and yeah, I mean, you get Rhys projecting him to be Rhys Hoskins in his career. That
Martin, new pitcher for the Cubs. Is he
like where they get to the side? Seems like a pretty easy guy to add.
In the PCL in AAA, be a big part of the Cubs bullpen.
Yeah, that platoon neutral. So that downer shape, that again has to go to other things. All right, so it's really strikes. Like you can see it in walk rate, which is not exactly what you want. Great, like what they have moments where they have great command, but on average,
See it last year.
that's exactly it. Yeah, I mean, pull out from a slug standpoint, it's got to be below. Story of like maybe he has a little.
Somebody hit him consistently.
For us, follow him on home, at Sloan Park, and he's using him in a very particular way. You see,
Single, and it's now 11.
As high of success rates as.
Catchers 59%.
Yeah, a lot of ball in play here. Things sneaking through.
The game is at home again.
Weekend of the season, and then don't see him again until
third. It's a 2-run triple.
We've done that, and
unless you just wear sleep.
Second, and that's good enough for the fun. And to my couch for about a week.
Yeah.
If I were to guess,
Challenge me, obviously don't think I would ever run a marathon.
Yeah.
You have all this certain, there's here when we saw him at the finish line, it was unbelievable.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was great. It was really
Scene, which is this new kind of cross.
ooh, Elise does a marathon.
Yes.
You tell her that you can't.
For the opening day start after a injury.
See Painter, so he walks in a run.
You're even allowed to have.
That's a home run. Devin Ortiz will remember.
Catching prospects always take a bit of time. You kind of wonder, do they move him off the position?
Doubled his ladder this week.
The hitters 1 through 9. This is the best pitcher in the world next to Tarek Skubal.
Hour before first pitch. A certain amount of pitches.
Today, which is history for him.
Severino, starting pitcher for the DR. Pitch. Long. 0-1. Hitting his home runs, so perfect. And the 0-2. Their 0-2 from Caba. 144 games.
They're going into the clubhouse after they've gotten out of the game, or spikes a day. So it's just constant with these guys. One of the grounds crews, one of the groundskeepers, he was very nice. We don't complain because it's sunshine and nice weather.
Payoff pitch. Good at bat from Johnny Long.
Yeah, that is, and yeah, I mean he's a really interesting.
You get Rhys Hoskins from him. I like that.
Yeah,
I am
not projecting him to be Rhys Hoskins in his career. That'd be a great outcome. Potential.
In the PCL in AAA for the Mariners in Tacoma,
has to go to other things.
Goes up with the fastball. All right, so my question to you is, with this intriguing seal last year.
That's exactly it. Yeah, I mean, Palencia, pull out from a slug standpoint, it's got to be below 350. You go down to the 94 of maybe he has a little bit of command, and then you have that stuff, and it's for us. Follow him on Instagram. He does awesome work. At home, at Sloan Park, and he throws 101, 102, 100.
And to my couch for about a week.
Yeah, that's fair.
If I were to guess on anybody, so Cubs have the bases loaded. Takes a fastball high and tight. Doubled his last at bat, goes fishing at a breaking ball this week.
It's a fun vibe back there too. Usually have like
a certain amount of pitches. Gets a little
today, you know, which is a little earlier than the average.
Deverino, starting pitcher for the DR. Pitch. Long fouls it away again.
But 75 to 80 is still pretty good.
Bethencourt fouls that back at the screen. 0-1. Tapper foul behind home, hitting his home run. So perfect timing.
Love it.
And the 0-2. Bethencourt stays alive.